On the week of March 10th, 2016, parents David and Colette Stephen pleaded not guilty to charges related to their 19-month-old daughter's death. They were charged with murder of their daughter because she had died of an infectious disease and they refused to vaccinate her. Because they did not vaccinate her, they put her and all children at risk. All children should be vaccinated with the MMR vaccine, which protects against measles, mumps, and rubella. Women who plan on becoming pregnant should take the vaccine before or after they give birth to protect their child. More than 50% of all diagnosed were people who refused to be vaccinated. Across the country right now, especially in California, there are many parents refusing to vaccinate their kids, either for medical reasons, religious reasons, or philosophical reasons. In California, there were over 1,000 medical exemptions and about 17,000 philosophical exemptions. For right now, I'm just talking about the most common children's vaccines: hepatitis A, hepatitis B, MMR, and HPV. I respect other people's opinions, but vaccines have scientifically proven to root out some of the worst diseases America has ever seen. I picked up these papers from my pediatrician, and I'm just going to read some of the things that can happen if you don't get vaccinated properly. All children should receive the hepatitis A vaccine between their first and second birthday, but if you are late, anyone can be vaccinated up to 18 years old. Hepatitis A has the symptoms of pain in the abdomen, joints, and muscles. When having hepatitis A, you will also experience diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and you will have fatigue and a high fever. Babies should receive 3 doses of hepatitis B, first at birth, second at 1 to 2 months, and third at 6 to 18 months. This disease is spread through contact of human blood or any other body fluids of an infected person. Anyone through 18 years of age who has not gotten this vaccine should get it. Having this disease will last for many months because it heals on its own. It does not heal properly. This disease leads to liver damage, liver cancer, and death. Children should get 2 doses of MMR, first at 12 to 15 months and second at 4 to 6 years of age. Children are allowed to and encouraged to recover the vaccine before turning 1 if they will be leaving the country. Anyone who missed their shot may receive one if they are born after 1956. If you do not receive this vaccination, expect symptoms of a rash, cough, eye irritation, pneumonia, seizures, headache, muscle pain, fever, and loss of appetite. You may also experience swollen glands, deafness, meningitis, arthritis. If a woman who is expecting has any of these symptoms, see a doctor. Women who get rubella during pregnancy are expected to have complications and birth defects. If you have these symptoms long term, severe causes will be coma, permanent brain damage, and death. Boys and girls at the age of 11 or 12 should receive the HPV vaccine, also known as Gardasil. This vaccine consists of 3 doses, one now, one in 1 to 2 months, and one in 6 months from the first shot. About 20 million Americans are currently infected, and 6 million will be infected within a year. This disease is sexually transmitted and has no symptoms, but it can cause cervical cancer in women. The top 4 reasons people are refusing vaccinations is because they either live too far from a doctor, there's a language barrier, people think that as long as other people are vaccinated, it's okay that they're not vaccinated, and people who don't trust the doctors at all. People who don't get their kids vaccinated most likely watch videos or look for Facebook posts on why people don't get their kids vaccinated. They don't actually talk to their doctor. They just look on the internet now. Relying fully on the internet to determine whether or not to get your kids vaccinated is very irresponsible because you can run across false information like this.
If my parents refuse to vaccinate me, well, one, you should be grateful you have intelligent parents who question everything and refuse to kill the future of you children here in USA.
Also, Jenny McCarthy appears on many talk shows talking about how she believes fully that her son's autism was caused by the vaccines that the doctor gave her son. Also, Jenny McCarthy says that she would trade her son's autism for one of those diseases any day, which I think is a very irresponsible thing to say, seeing that many of those diseases can lead to death. Here is a video clip of Jenny McCarthy and another parent attacking the pediatricians.
Dying of that sort of stuff anymore, and as a pediatrician, that's the last thing I want to see is for people to stop vaccinating, because we'll start seeing kids die of polio.
Okay,
again.
let me tell you this. We do not need that many vaccines that we need. The chickenpox, I think, can be a parent's choice. The rotavirus, the flu shot that still contains mercury. JB, hepatitis B, go ahead. Wait,
the devil is always in the details, and one of the problems with vaccines is they've been so great that people overly generalize about them as if they're only great. We looked at other first world countries. We're 34th in under 5 mortality behind such luminaries as Cuba and Slovenia. However, we have 36 vaccines. The top 5, which include countries like Finland, Norway, Iceland, average 11 and 13 vaccines. From 1994, we added 8 vaccines to our schedule. There are vaccines like flu, rotavirus, varicella that have only been picked up by 2 or 3 of the other 30 countries. So what do they know that we don't? Why are they picking up vaccines that have been around for 15 years? And why are their autism rates 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1,500, 1 in 2,000? It doesn't take a brain surgeon or an ER doctor to figure out there might be a correlation.
We don't want to be too narrow-minded and say it's only the vaccines and ignore other potential problems.
In my opinion, and this is just me wanting to have an open debate about this, vaccines are really the one thing we have looked at as causing autism.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That is completely bogus. That is such a bogus statement. How many vaccines have they looked at in these studies? How many? What's the answer? It's 2. How many ingredients have they studied of 35? What's the answer? It's 1. You've looked at 2 of 36 shots and 1 of 35 vaccines, and you're going to stand on the stage and say that vaccines and autism are unrelated? It is the most bogus tobacco science. It's a smokescreen. Anybody who takes the time to read it would agree. I'm so sick of doctors who don't read the studies, who don't know the details, sitting here telling parents and reassuring them that vaccines don't cause autism. It is irresponsible.
And this is the biggest problem, and the reason that doctors in this country are frustrated.
Read the
because,
science.
Listen, all you're doing is you're antagonizing a medical community that wants to help these kids.
You haven't
okay?
done the
You're
research.
antagonizing me. You're antagonizing Dr. Sears. Why would you do that? This show is all about his my son. Okay, okay, everyone wants to blame someone, right? Yes. This is what we're trying to figure out here is how to help kids. But all you do when you yell at me on my stage, all you do is anger me.
I'm sorry
and
to hurt
make
your feelings,
me
but you don't know the details.
I asked you to defend your stance, and all you did was attack me as an individual. Why would I want to listen to you when you do that to me?
Because
instead, I want to listen to Dr. Jerry here, who will rationally walk through why they're removing certain things from foods that could be causing problems, why we're removing environmental toxins that could be causing autism. You know, I want to help these kids live better lives just like everyone else. I don't understand why we all have to argue so much with one another.
Since this trend started, there is now 48 states that accept religious exemptions and 20 that accept philosophical exemptions. We need to start educating people on the serious effects this disease can have on children, and how not vaccinating your children also put other children at risk.